In this video, we'll learn about formula mass. So previously, you learned about atomic mass, which is measured in grams per mole, and that's just the mass of 1 mole of an atom. Formula mass is the mass of a mole of a compound. So if you add up all the atomic masses of the elements within the compound, then that would be the formula mass. And the units are the same, also grams per mole. So let's find the formula mass of sodium chloride. Well, we first need to look up sodium's atomic mass. And according to the periodic table, its atomic mass is 22.99 grams per mole. So that's for the sodium. And for the chlorine, it's 35.45 grams per mole. And we add them up, and what we get is 58.44, and the units again are grams per mole. So that works for sodium chloride, and that's a simple example. Now let's try something a little bit more complicated. Let's go for calcium nitrate. The way that I like to set these up is just by listing out the elements. So we have calcium, we have N, nitrogen, and we have oxygen. And what we'll do is we'll look up the atomic masses of everything. In the case of calcium, it's 40.08 grams per mole. For nitrogen, it's 14.01. We round to the nearest hundredth every time. And for oxygen, it's 16.00, rounding again to the nearest hundredth. So calcium, there's only one atom in the formula. For nitrogen, since the nitrate is in parentheses, we're going to say there's 2 nitrogens. And for oxygen, each nitrate has 3 oxygens. 3 times the 2 nitrates that there are gives us 6 oxygens. And so if we multiply them out, what we get is, for calcium, still our 40.08 grams per mole of calcium nitrate. But for the nitrogen, there are 28.02 grams of nitrogen in a mole of calcium nitrate. And for the oxygen, we get 96.00. And what we can do is just take all of that, add it up, and what we get is 164.10 grams per mole again. So that would be a more complicated formula mass. And I do have one more to show you. That's the formula mass of a hydrate. Hydrates are compounds that have water trapped in their crystal lattice. And so, for example, magnesium sulfate heptahydrate, hepta meaning 7 in chemistry, it's got 7 water molecules trapped in a lattice with a magnesium sulfate. So this is Epsom salt, actually. So bath salts that you can buy at pharmacy is Epsom salt. So let's approach this problem the way that I approached the previous one, the calcium nitrate. We're going to list out our magnesium is 24.31 grams per mole. Our sulfur is 32.06 grams per mole. And our oxygen is 16.00 grams per mole. And for the water, I like to show H2O as its own thing. That's just the way that I like to approach it. So let's see, we have, I know it off the top of my head, but what you can do is you can just sort of separately do the water over here. And there are 2 times 1.01 for the hydrogen. And the oxygen, there's 1 oxygen atom times 16.00 grams per mole. And just simplifying it out, it's 18.02. So 18.02. Now, how many magnesiums? Just the 1. How many sulfurs? Just the 1. How many oxygens? There's 4. And then we've got 7 waters. So totaling them, we have 24.31. We have 32.06. Let's It's an ugly 3. There we go. All right, for the oxygen, this comes out to 64.00. And for the water, it comes out to 126.14. So adding them together, what we get is 246.51 grams per mole of magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Hope this video has been helpful. Please feel free to leave any comments or questions in the comment section below.